What it do, guys? Woke up this morning excited because tomorrow we are getting all the South American fish. Finally got the invoice and the packing list. Getting a few random things, but they're not that bad. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, gotta go to the fish store, pick up a few last minute things, sponge filters, maybe some air controllers, random stuff, whatever we find. Anyways, keep saying anyways. By the way, I gotta edit yesterday's video. I think I'm finally getting a little better at this. Let me know what you guys think. Getting a little low on gas there, but I just pulled up to the old fish store. Oh yeah, if you're wondering why that check engine light's on, it's because I installed a new header and intake little cheap system, but I just ripped out all the old stuff and didn't do it professional, so that just stays on now. Gotta get that fixed. Alright guys, went to the aquarium store. They only had freaking one sponge filter and I need at least one more, probably two. And I also picked up a little Jebo 300 watt aquarium heater. Who has used the Jebo products? I hate their heaters. They always freaking don't work. I don't know what the deal is with them, but everyone I seem to get, well, I have like two that work, but a lot of them don't work, especially in the higher wattage ones. What do you guys have with experience with those little bastards? Alright, so the mission was successful. Got one more. Get it out of the bag here. Got this guy right here. The company is this BioSponge Filtration. It's funny because I got this one, then I got this one, and in the tank there's another different one. So I'm gonna have all different kinds of sponge filters, but guess what? They all do the same thing, so it's all good. The fish don't even know what they are. But anyways, just make sure they're big enough for your tank. Like I'm running 3 that are rated for 30 gallons or more, and it's going in a 55 gallon, so you always want to overdo it with the old sponge filters, unless you need like a slow current or something. Well, you can still put a bunch, just turn the air down. Anyways, I'm going back home to set this all up. I'll show you guys when it's all done, maybe a little in between. Alright guys, got the old heater and the extra sponges installed to move some around. So let me show you what it looks like now. That's one of the old ones, and that floating one up there is another old one, and then we got a new one. So we got 2 old ones and a new one, 3 per 55 gallon. And we got the same thing in here, new heater, about to plug it in. I always wait like 15 or 20 minutes so the heater can adjust to the water temp, especially if the water's cold, and then I plug them in. Quick tip, pro tip. Anyways, we got the same thing going on over here, and now they're ready for fish. Tomorrow hopefully we have some Ultim Angels and some Discus. Alright, so I kind of want to talk to you guys about starting up a new tank as far as the nitrogen cycle. I know there's a million different ways to do it. You can start with fish, you could do a fishless cycle using ammonia, and I've done it a few different ways, so I guess I'll show you 2 ways I've done it. And I'm not sure they're both the best way to do it, but we'll talk about my idea of the best way to do it in the end. Alright, so this tank is good for 2 examples. As you can see on the left, I have 2 sponge filters, sorry for the glare, the blue ones, and then I have one over there floating on the right. Let me get a little close up for you here. There's the 1 sponge filter, there's 2 blue ones, which I purchased from Angels Plus. It's a website, and they will send you activated sponges, which means the good bacteria is already in the sponge, and they come clean with no snails and no pests. I've bought from them twice and had no problems. So that's one way you can put water in your tank, throw the sponges in your tank when you get them, and add fish pretty much immediately. It's not foolproof way by any means. You have to make sure you have the right amount of sponges. I started off with 4 in here, and this is a 55 gallon. But when I started my discus tank, my breeder tank, and my angel breeder tank, I did the same thing. I asked the person I bought them from if they would send sponges from their place with the fish, and they did, and it worked out perfectly. They're all still alive, obviously. Alrighty, another way to do it is by adding fish that are pretty hardy and doing a little bit more of water changes in the beginning. I started with these fish in this tank, which currently isn't running, and I need to clean because it's disgusting. But anyways, I have a few koi swords, some kohakus, and some sankes you can see swimming, and then a couple of neons that I bred from in a pond this summer in my friend Jason's backyard. Anyways, so I put those fish in this tank with 3 sponge filters that had no bacteria in them, and I did water changes about every other day or every 3rd day for about 2 weeks, and that seemed to get everything going. I could add fish and had no problems. In the beginning I did have a problem with ick, but I think it was from cold water. I fixed it pretty quick though, and everything seems to be okay. Here's a new tank I'm starting today, which will have fish in it tomorrow. I'm going to take a few sponges out of there, put them in here, and then there should be Ultim Angels in there tomorrow, so you guys will get a glimpse of that. And right now I just have a little pump running with some filter floss from the other tank and a little heater that's just slowly warming up the water. Definitely not big enough. But anyways, that's I'll give you guys an example tomorrow of how to seed your tank with already activated sponges. The last way you can do it that I know of, or you can also do it with the ammonia thing, but I don't really like doing it that way. It's super unreliable and it's really sucky, in my opinion. Everybody has their own way, but I mean, it's super clean to do it that way and everything, blah blah blah. But I haven't had good experiences with it, so I don't do it anymore. Another way to do it is by getting a product that instantly cycles your tank that's not ammonia. I think it's called Culture Max. I'll double check here in a second. Has a picture of discus on there. Anyways, I've seen a few people try it, and it really does work. Everyone has good things to say about it. I think one pack is $21.99 or something, and it cycles 50 gallons. They say for the best results, I think you can double the volume per pack, or however you want to say it. Like if you have 100 gallon, instead of getting 2 of the packs, you can get 4. So they each treat 50 gallons, so you're really doing 200 gallons, but that's for best results. Anyways, using that method, you can cycle your tank in 1 to 3 days, and like I said, I've seen a few people do it and it works great. Let me get the name for you real quick, 1 second here. Alrighty, so sorry for the bad picture. I just I'm taking a video of my phone. I'm not sponsored by Foster's and Smith or anything, but they have it on their website, and it is Culture Max. It's really good stuff. I would suggest trying it out if you're having struggles with the old nitrogen cycle. I know in the beginning I did, and it was really hard for me to get used to, and there's a lot to understand about it. It's a lot more difficult than most people think once you get down to the nitty-gritty. But getting tanks started for simple fish is very easy with stuff like this coming out left and right. Anyways, if you have any questions, comment below, and thank you for people like Culture Max for making our lives easier. Alright, a couple of things I forgot to mention. When you're starting the cycle with fish, there's a few fish specifically that I use. My water is really hard and I have a high pH here, so I like to use mollies and swordtails basically. Other live bears work well, but I've had the best luck with mollies and swordtails. A lot of people suggest to use goldfish. I honestly haven't had the best luck. I think my local supplier, my local pet store, they don't care for their goldfish, or where they get them, they don't care very much, so they usually come with diseases, and I've had them die, and not very good luck with them. But I've heard those can be good too, so maybe you can give those a try. There was one more thing I'm forgetting to mention. What was it? Oh yes, when you put the water in your tank, to start it with pretty much anything. I mean, always read the directions. Sometimes you might not do this, but I always treat my water with some type of like chlorine remover or prime or something like that. We have chlorine and chloramines in our water, so I live in Los Angeles, so it's not the best water around here, but I use prime to condition my water, and it works perfect. And I have discus and angelfish in it, so I don't think there's any other fish that require as much care. So I think if I can do those, you guys will be okay too. Prime is a great product. I'm not sponsored by any products or anything, but I've always used Prime and it works really good. Peace.